the more it was obvious that events were happening up and down that corridor. And the Mount Wilson Ranch was part of that corridor. And so I thought, well, it could be an interesting laboratory. And so that's why I bought it. I wanted stuff that was literally in your face, or chasing you in your car, or you're sitting outside the restaurant and you're seeing this literally football stadium craft drifting across your town, and so those are really interesting accounts.
There is a ranch in Nevada less than 80 miles from Area 51 that was secretly researched by Bob Bigelow's original Skinwalker Ranch team of psychic spies. For decades, while simultaneously researching Skinwalker Ranch, the NIDS team was searching for the lost entrance into a giant cave system of ancient alien artifacts. An abandoned alien mining operation leading to a 500-foot underground pyramid hiding a UFO nicknamed the Mount Wilson Manta Ray. For thousands of years, indigenous people have known and protected its secrets. For decades, top-secret government teams, even before Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program, were scouring the ranch attempting to recover the metamaterials, biological material, and ancient unknown artifacts, and were stopped by an explosion of paranormal activity. Animal mutilations, alien abductions, poltergeist activity, moving orbs of light and shadow figures, strange glitches in time, and the ghost of a Native American shaman appearing along with 3 extraterrestrial beings who protect the land. Now, new leaked whistleblower evidence has confirmed the truth behind these local legends. New ancient artifacts are being discovered, and mysterious energy is transmitting from the meadow, and an undiscovered tunnel entrance has been found. Independent researchers, scientists, archaeologists, and Native American historians have joined me, Carl Crusher, to uncover the truth. We are on a mission to find the lost entrance into the underground and uncover the real mystery of Mount Wilson Ranch.
One night, we're looking up in the sky, and this unidentified flying object, this UFO, is doing figure eights, right? And it keeps doing them and doing them. And so they stand there and they're watching this, and then it deviates dramatically and it shoots off at low altitude right into the mountain itself. A craft go right into that mountain and disappear.
Yeah, he's got a ton of interesting stuff. We're back in Jeff's storage room down here, and funny turn of events with these lights. Patrick is up here doing a special trip, and it just so turns out he's one of the few people that we've met that even knows what these are, who's worked on them before, kind of might be able to get them started. And he just so happens to be here on the day when we were going to do it anyways. So the coincidences and everything up here are so crazy. All right, let me show you what you got and what we're going to try and get started up for you. The speculation is that these projectors are part of maybe what Jacques Vallée and Bigelow were using as the real version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, to do some kinds of light and sound experiments if they could get them turned on. But instead of the big stuff that you see in the Steven Spielberg movie, it's these. So what are these, Patrick? Please tell us what these are if you know.
All right, yeah. This is a manufacturer's Advent of these units. And Advent, some people might remember, was famous for having a real nice speaker for hi-fi and stereo systems back in the late 60s, early 70s. And the guy who started the company and made the speakers used the success of the speakers to fund what he really wanted to do, was create a video projector back in the early 70s, mid 70s for regular consumers.
Yeah.
And so that was his dream, I guess. And he was designing the projection tubes and the whole system. And so it was I guess it would have been considered successful when it came out, because it functioned pretty good. It was still fairly expensive.
Yeah.
Average,
this doesn't look like a cheap setup.
So, but interesting about this model here is this Advent projector was not made by Advent when this one came out.
Oh.
And I'm not sure what the reason was, but the guy, yeah, those knobs right there are for aligning the tubes on top of each other, and then skewing the yoke and all the circuitry around the yoke of the tubes. And so there's actually three.
Say the yoke of the tubes, the what of the what?
Well, you think about a regular an old TV with a picture tube. It had a lot of magnetic coils around the neck of it to align the gun, the gun inside the cathode ray tube. So this has three CRTs inside of them, and they're like a regular TV.
Whoa, wait, we got sound.
Yeah, you do. You got snow.
I just turned that on.
Yeah, leave it on. We'll look and see if the tubes come alive.
What the? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just.
Yeah, it's got a speaker in it. So it's basically a TV. It's a projection system, but it's a regular TV.
So how do we turn the lights on?
Right, I'll tell you what. Let me look around the front.
Okay.
See if they're actually,
I'll get out of here right here.
They could possibly be on.
It could be on.
Yeah, but there's nothing coming in. So we'll look inside each tube. All right. So it appears like the tubes aren't fired up. You got the rest of the unit working. You got the sound,
But the tubes are.
the tubes aren't fired up. So that would require some
Tools.
screwing around. Yeah. Take a look here.
All I did is turn the volume down so the static wasn't crazy. Tell me what you're doing, like
All
you're
right.
narrating.
I'm checking to see if the brightness is all the way up, and that this thing has a built-in test pattern. It's like a video signal that puts a matrix on your screen.
So it would do like a waveform of light or something,
Well,
like you could see like a grid and things.
Yeah, it'd be a grid, so you could align the individual picture tubes and get them aligned.
Gotcha.
Okay, and that's where those the tuning of those the yokes. That's what this was for.
All of that is for dialing
set the grid
angles
up,
of that
yeah,
in, so
and
it's
all
not
that.
blurry and stuff.
Well, it just aligns them on top of each other because you got three
Right.
picture tubes projecting, and they got to end up in the same spot.
That's why you've got red, blue, and green
Yep.
over here, and the horizontal, vertical, X
Yep.
and Y axes.
You cover up the two of them. You get that color on the screen. You go one by one. All three of them on top of each other. You have your red, blue, green, white. All the other colors.
Gotcha.
So
What would be the possibility, like, of them using this for light and sound experiments if they were doing like early experiments like Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Is this something realistic for that, or would
I
this
don't
just
know.
be for watching movies?
I think this would be possibly for what's the word? Just for media.
Media, yeah.
Videotapes.
So they would have
live
plugged
TV.
in like a VCR or something to this and
Yep.
then used it like a projector.
That would be my guess.
It's weird that they would have. How much would one of these systems cost back in the day? New, if Bigelow would have bought this.
Oh, you're talking in the mid to late 70s, spending almost $4,000 on one of these.
Which $4,000 in the 70s
Yeah,
would be about
like-
like what today?
like 15 or something like
15,000,
that. Yeah,
almost
15
like
or
buying a
20.
car.
Yeah, it would be that. That's significant to the person spending the money. Probably close to $20,000.
Oh, look, we got a light on the A.
There's a company near New Orleans that specialized in parts for these units.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, for a long time. They might even still be in business.
Oh, I saw a light come out of the bottom bulb
Okay.
for half a second. The blue one, it looked like.
Yeah. All right.
I saw it turn on.
Yeah. Well, they have to they have to warm up before they'll work, just like the old TV tubes.
Oh,
They
okay.
took like first time they're plugged in, it would take like 30 seconds at least.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw a light come on the bottom one, for sure. I'm pretty sure I got it on camera even.
Okay. Well, there's still, looks like still an issue with these. Let's see.
Man, I can hear a high-pitched whistle coming out of that. Oh, they're turning on. They're turning on.
All right.
Look. We got a blue and a green for sure.
No red.
No red, but look, we got a blue and a green coming out.
Yeah, you got some sort of something in there. It's not correct yet, but it might be the.
So there's a light tube back in there. Look at that.
So those are actually CRTs about this big.
Yeah, dude, there you are.
Yay. They have the picture tubes in there, like have a little flat screen about that big, real bright, and then these lens assemblies simply, project it out. But they're just like little TV tubes. That
Gotcha. This one, the sound would turn on, but no picture.
Yeah, that's what I.
This one just
and
had
the
the
other one.
blue
I
and
never
the
even
green.
plugged that one in. I just pulled it out. Ah, too bad. Red won't come on. Maybe if we switch the red with this red.
Yeah, what if we change the bulbs out from this other one over to that?
It's possible the red one does work over there. You'd have to, it's an ordeal. I know that, but I've done it before.
Yeah,
All
to have
right, we
the
have the
tools.
expert here. I mean, how fortunate are we?
It's an
tonight?
ordeal.
I mean,
We got a
tools,
blue.
What kind of tools you need, Patrick?
Hey, we got a blue and green.
Yeah, but we need red.
Well, yeah, but this was cool, man.
if you get if you notice the
You look like you're in your element now.
I know.
look on get in front of your pants, Jeff.
Oh yeah, you get.
You get the image of what's coming out of the tubes, and it looks like it needs some kind of adjustment.
Is there a picture coming through? There
No.
wouldn't be a feed going into that, right?
There was something. I actually heard something on the tuner earlier.
Like a voice?
Oh, something. Yeah, something.
Well,
What would be on the tuner of these
nothing.
things?
Not these.
On a UHF or a VHF?
Not this time.
Oh, what
you're
did
not
you-
allowed to broadcast on those frequencies with analog signals anymore.
What did you hear though?
Oh, something.
Oh no.
I did.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, is communicate with stuff.
See this where it's thrown.
Oh, look.
okay.
Look. Oh yeah, we got it on the wall right here.
Wow.
Look at that. It's a projector. They could have totally used this for Jacques Vallée's stuff. Look at that.
So the screen would be much closer, and that would bring it into focus. And
Let's go in the room and shut the door real quick.
if you just
Pull it
look
back
into
a little
the
bit
tubes,
here.
you'll see you're not seeing a full
Come on,
full
baby.
screen.
No, it's just like a line.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a vertical line.
Here, let's pull it back a minute and
Pull out
shut
the
the
other
door.
unit?
So,
Oh yeah. Okay.
alright, so maybe we can try and adjust and get the blue and the green working. I'm not sure if there's a vertical adjustment that's out of whack or something.
So now you're dialing that X and Y and all that.
So, remember the old TVs when you would have to adjust.
What's it like? Azimuth? Is that what that is?
No, it's like
What's
it's-
that called when you do that?
you're not seeing the full vertical, horizontal scan, and I'm trying to. And
We're not gonna get full color picture.
you're
we'll
not
just
gonna-
get
you
two of
won't
the
get a
colors,
picture
like
either.
like we're colorblind
Well,
if we get
if-
something.
if you get the full image on these two tubes, you could get a blue green image of video. But
But
right
there's
now,
no input right
not
now
even getting
unless
that.
we get some kind of an alien input that comes through.
Something on that tuner?
That's what I'm saying.
So
They may have not had an input. They may have just had some kind of receiver trying to talk to them. Whatever's under the mountain, What if they were trying to decode the signal?
Something in one of them.
Yeah, they were trying to communicate with light and sound.
Maybe that's why they got rid of that UHF and VHF. It used to be around for everything.
Because it was a way to make contact.
Yeah. Potentially, who knows?
Well, they essentially they still have it, but the signal that comes over those bands are now a digital signal
Right.
riding on a carrier.
Again,
So this thing would only work on the original analog transmissions. but you know, without putting a converter in,
Yeah.
Do something.
superimpose the HD.
I can't believe these work though, Jeff. That's freaking cool,
this
man.
Close to, a lot closer than the other one.
Yeah, I saw it was missing all the parts when I pulled it out. What do you think? You think we can truck it through there if I kick out this leg?
Dude, it's up to you. I don't know. We got the one guy in probably
I know.
1,000-mile radius that even knows what these things are magically here tonight. So you can't get it out.
I might.
I think we could probably move this Tupperware before you need it.
Yeah, I'm coming around the horn. I'm gonna figure it out from here.
Oh, you found the switch?
I got full image of these tubes now.
Whoa, really?
Turn out the lights. See?
Yo, Jeff, look at that!
Much better.
Oh, how did you do that?
Well, there's a switch down here that had some sort of a horizontal hold adjustment or something on there, and
That
it was
just-
kind of halfway in between.
Hey, yeah.
So now, if you theoretically, if you had a VCR and you put composite audio signal in there,
We could do green and
you
blue.
would see.
Hit that light again really quick. I want to see it one more time. Yo,
That's basically you're seeing, TV snow.
like a big projector TV. Yeah.
Exactly what it is, TV projector. And then there should be an accompanying reflective screen that stands in front of this, which shows it.
Right.
Shows it good brightness.
There was.
Yeah, there definitely was.
Oh man, look at all the VCRs up here. You got plenty of stuff. All right, gotta get this out of there.
Where you want to open this baby up to this
I
direction?
was trying to see how is this. Is the bottom right here? Yeah. No.
That's the bottom?
Nope.
No,
No, that's
that
the
goes
back.
up against
Nope. This just this opens up, and I think it reflects against this mirror. Maybe against the wall.
I don't know.
Look at the channel up
Oh,
and
here's
down
this
is that way.
This is in the front. Yeah. This
You see your
comes
big
this
mirror
way.
right here?
Yeah, this would turn around and then this would come out.
Oh yeah, there's all the
And
controls
then
right
I
there.
bet there could be a screen that mounts right on the top.
Oh, there
Shoots
was.
up that way.
Yep.
Yeah, the mirror sends it back
What are those
that way.
screens?
It's
So
like
this
a-
is the back. So there would have been a screen here
mounted
facing
right
that way.
here.
So
Yeah.
it projects onto the mirror and
That
then
way,
up into
yeah.
the big screen this
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, and this is a pretty old one too,
Oh yeah, there you see the three.
because this is not really a digital tuner on here.
Hmm.
I mean, it might be electronically controlled.
What
but
if these were all owned by Howard Hughes or something back at the end of his, or Bigelow, or like,
Yeah.
what year would these have been, Patrick? These
This has got to be mid 70s,
70s. So when was Bigelow up here though?
mid late.
96.
So this could be before Bigelow, unless he
Yeah.
brought him up from somewhere else.
This would have had to have been. Yeah, I mean, but because after this kind of expired, whatever. But by 1985, 84, this would have been so far out of
Date.
impractical to use.
Yeah, totally.
Man, what a huge TV set.
That's
Look at that.
crazy, man.
Look at all the controls.
I know. Where's the on switch, Jeff? You power it up. Here it is, right here.
Ready?
I'm not ready yet.
Oh wait.
Trying to get the plug oriented right.
Alright, that's off now.
Look at those big analog channels,
cool.
man. On 1 through
And then right
13.
here. Chickum, chickum.
Channel up, channel down. That's how you changed it.
Ooh, you got power light.
You got a red power light
I got a red power light.
activated. Red power light is on. Is there any glowing coming out of the tubes?
Ooh, look at those things.
We'll open that. Ooh. All the big plugins. Any lights coming out? I don't even see a flicker of hope yet.
We've got a video sensor. Maybe this power needs to be activated. too.
Try it. That sounded like action. Look, it's set on TV, VTR, or test. Try it on test. Don't sap your face off.
Tubes aren't lit yet.
Yeah, so we got one of them working with 2 bulbs, but no red. We got green and blue out of one machine. It's one of those projects where we might have to like put a little work in and see if we can Frankenstein 2 machines into one and get them fired up and see what happens.
It's flat like this, then all of a sudden there'll be a rock going across it. That's a spirit break.
Is that what we just found yesterday that I thought was a wall?
Yeah.
A lot of, it's just enough to step over.
A spirit break.
But with the Indians, that was so no bad spirits could follow them on the trail as they walk. So that, a lot of the stuff up here is game trail. But when you find something with those, every once in a while, that's a true Indian trail.
Just yesterday, hiking down the mountain, I was like, this looks like a wall, but it doesn't make any sense. It's just like one level of rocks in a line.
Yeah, probably a spirit break.
A spirit break. Would you mind explaining what you said were the sleeping circles again? Because we were just up at a square one that's built off of a small natural wall that's maybe 2 feet tall, and there's stacked stones in a square. And then just down the hill from that cave is where that is. And then just down the hill from there is a circle, and it's just on the top of the hill. So if you wouldn't mind explaining what you know those to be, that would be amazing.
The Indians were very minimalist, and what they would do is put small rocks in a circle, probably big enough for 10, 12 people, get those rocks, and then they would lay in it and put their rabbit blankets over them. And that was enough to block the wind and for them all together to sleep underneath there and be warm. So when you see that, and usually they're pounded down, tell that something's been in that, laying in it, and then have that circle around it, and that's an Indian sleeping circle.
So not even a teepee or a hut or anything, just enough to lay down flat under a skin blanket to cut the wind off of you, and they all huddle together under there and sleep.
Yeah, this area here was mostly a summer residence for them. They would come up, pick the pinyon pines, the nuts, gather whatever they would do, but they wouldn't stay here year-round. So therefore, they wouldn't build any kind of a structure. And these Indians around here very seldom built anything permanent or big-time structures or wiki-ups or stuff you'll see. But I've never run into anything like that.
If we wanted to go to the closest place nearby where they would have done that, where should Jeff and I go to see where these people would have slept and stayed for real?
There's a place right outside of Alamo. When you come out of Alamo and you go over the turnpike, there's a garbage can and a little parking area there. If you drive down that road, there's a complete, I guess a village or whatever, but they have signs, they have little brochures and everything else, and it will tell you what each area is, what it was used for, and everything. It's one of the best there are.
Wow.
Never knew that. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So
right there at the corner. Yeah, when you come around, you'll see that garbage can.
I know right where you're saying.
And then that road goes back in there. There's a parking place.
On the north side of the road, in other words.
It's
on the north.
It would be northeast side. Okay, you gotcha up there.
Gotcha.
Now, if you stop at the I don't know if they probably would have it at Pahranagat there. There's brochures and everything else. I don't know if I have anything left. Everything's on Doug's got, so I don't know, but that's a real.
Would these would have been the same Native Americans that carved Pahranagat Man? Or would those have been older cultures and then they came in later?
Yeah,
who knows, right?
I'm not much of an archaeologist.
Oh, I'm not sure, yeah. You seem to know.
In the different way they lived, in the dwellings and in the arrows, the points carved and everything. I don't know, Pahranagat down there, Freeman.
Who knows?
All the different stuff.
Yeah.
I really don't know the time frame on it.
Gotcha.
But these were Paiutes, northern Paiutes, Shoshones, that. But they were here for sure. Where I built my house, we found so much stuff that was unbelievable because Clark Creek runs right in front of it.
Yeah.
So they were looking for pottery shards. Oh God, I had them bought. Well, that bowl I gave you there, that all came right around the house.
we're going to let Mike. He's been a lifelong Nevada resident. That's what I'm thinking too. Been involved in mining and everything.
It was the perfect size.
An outhouse?
Yeah,
That's what we joked about.
you find it like that. They threw everything in down. Bottles, you name it. Everything went in there, and then through the years, it got covered up with dirt and everything. But that's the perfect size. And when it got full, they just move it over there. Yeah.
Oh, in caverns. Have you encountered many caverns in Lincoln County?
No, not really.
Over by Malpost Summit over there by Jervin Rose.
No.
Okay. How about Lee McKay?
Yeah, we've done all that. We've done all the. I'm not a real cave fan.
Gotcha.
I just don't feel comfortable.
Wow.
Well, that there looks like old track that they used to use in the military. That stuff right there. That's what they would use for airstrips and everything else. We use that right there.
Yeah, so they would put this down when it was sand or wet to drive heavy trucks in, right?
That, or to land planes on. The planes could land on that stuff with no trouble at all.
So when you see that,
So immediately as you saw it, you knew exactly
What that stuff is. There's a name for it. I don't remember.
So this here, this is what this is the newest thing since all of that water this year, and since all the snow. You see the ground over here all cracking. And
this whole area is caving in all the way up here.
This thing right here, that looks like the front end of a trailer that they brought in.
Yep, that definitely does. That's what I say now. There's
That looks like, the rest of it looks like old mine stuff to me.
You've been around.
Well, anything old that looks like that's usually from mine. You know, they're trying to get water in, trying to dig, trying to see, old miners, they poke anything. Color, and they don't want to do nothing with it except sell it to somebody. Just like sure, and all those guys, man, they didn't. It was their motto was, it's not the gold, it's the chase. It's looking for it.
Yeah.
That's what the whole idea was with those old sourdoughs was. It was the chase, the finding it. Then they just got drunk and sold it to somebody. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I see, absolutely. Yeah, I see that.
Nom era. So that what's Howard Hughes again, or this before Bigelow? Bigelow was up in the 90s, so this would have been
It's our new mystery, this thing here.
I don't, when Bigelow was up here, we only saw him here a couple times.
Oh,
Well, we saw his people here a lot. And then Donna got friends with them. So that's when we would have the night sky viewing and everything. But I'll tell you what, there was a lot of weird stuff.
going on here when they were here?
Yeah, we
Like what?
different types of aircraft, things you couldn't explain.
Really?
I mean, a UFO to me is just something we don't know what it is. It's not alien or anything like that. We got in the Delamar Flats one time, me and a buddy of mine were going home in his Jeep, and we saw this circle of lights coming. Circle, no noise. And then all of a sudden, one of these like circles just came right over the Jeep. And we were all lit up and everything. And we were probably doing 65. He stayed right with us. Then all of a sudden, they just all kind of turned and they were gone. Just ate it. Boom, boom, gone. I mean, you didn't even know they were there. But that thing was, and we were looking up and out of it. It was just this white glow-like thing coming out of the bottom of it.
Wow.
And it just followed us. And followed us, and we're like, this is horrible weird. But then all of a sudden, like, boom, they would but they didn't fly off.
Yeah.
They were just like, and gone.
Disappeared.
Wow. What was your impression of what Bigelow's people were doing that stayed here and were doing experiments and things? Or what do you think they were doing?
Bigelow was chasing anything as far as UFOs, what they were. They were looking more for stuff that wasn't American or our stuff.
Yeah.
They were looking for more stuff that was from a different place.
Like exotic materials or alien things or
Yeah, the stuff that we were to see from Area 51 and that's like the famous planes, now it's pretty old, but it was puff hotel show,
Yeah.
like a cigar.
Yeah.
You know?
So it looks like pearls on a string.
Yeah, right. We would see that
Yeah.
and everything.
Right.
But they were more interested in stuff that you couldn't explain.
Right.
So they were way above our intelligence.
And so they came up here and everybody around saw them doing things at night and stuff, or they started seeing activity in the sky. And
Yeah, there weren't a lot of people here.
oh,
And one of the ladies that was here right from the beginning that worked here, Donna Bardeen, she became friends with them and everything.
yeah.
So she would invite us over, and we have these binoculars that were like 3 feet long. With it. You're looking at the sky and everything. They took it seriously. They were looking for something, and Bigelow was probably paying them. And they were friendly enough, but we never saw anything that meant that we couldn't explain or didn't think, because everything is centered that way
Towards area.
towards Area 51.
Yeah.
Nothing. We didn't see anything that we were at, other than that night in the Delmar Flats.
Mm.
That obviously it was ours.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Fascinating.
Some interesting something.
So what do you think when you see the chain there and stuff and all this? Like, we've been told so many different things about this potentially even being a mine portal or some kind of an entrance that's buried over.
We've seen there's wood down there too.
Yeah.
So it's a foundation or a frame or something, and with the holes where it's caving in, there was something or is something that, who knows when it could have been put in or dug up or whatever. But the old miners and that, nothing went to waste. Whatever that stuff is, they were using it to shore something up or to keep the structurally or whatever. Because they did. That's not a garbage pile over there. That would just be stuff that they would use when they needed something more.
Yeah.
They didn't throw nothing away. Nothing on a mine site was thrown away. It was all reused.
Yeah. So could have all been put on top of an entrance? Could this be an entrance, you think?
Sure. It could be anything. Could be a mine entrance. Could be an entrance to.
Well, there's where we're at. Look at the pole ends here, and we never knew why that power came here. Did you ever, in your time, ever see anything that was here? Was there ever a building here or anything?
Not that I'm aware of. No, this was like this, but that pole's pretty new. Now, that doesn't mean that the power didn't come earlier on an older pole.
71's the time stamp on that pole.
Yeah, and I don't know what those things are hanging out, if that's just some kind of protection or if that's where other wire would come down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not. But this would, to me, if we ran across this, would be basically a mine site.
A mine site?
With the metal and everything else. If it's an underground, something going underground, usually it's more.
That was as definitive as I heard about these things.
Vietnam era.
He used it.
Air tracks.
I've seen the engineers lay that crap down.
Yeah.
They lay a whole field, cover it.
Jerry said the same thing.
They're a runway.
Wow. Because the whole runway then.
So
In Southeast Asia, the ground's not like here.
It's all swamp.
Well, yeah, 6 months a year, it's monsoon season. So in order to get the planes and land in there, they lay that stuff down. There's a name for it. I don't remember what it is.
So would that track potentially, if this was an entrance, would be potentially evidence that this was used down below the water table in the mud to drive vehicles in?
I'd say sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would. There's no reason for that stuff to be here. I wouldn't drive on it when it's wet. So you go down on the ground table here, some places there's water really close to the top.
How many? Well, this is
That's third confirmation.
expert number 3 now. Thank you,
I
Mike.
got a seat on my back road
Wow.
that started in it. That sucker, it's still water. It's still wet and everything. So water can be real close to the top. In fact, Clark's well was only 80 feet.
Yeah.
So
And that's why that looks like a pump, like the end of a deep pump.
all this big metal. This thing here is kind of interesting. I don't know what that would be.
Somebody was saying it's like probably a suction.
Like a hydraulic
Very
pump.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very possible. Like I said, that looks like something that brought in a trailer or something.
Yeah.
The front of a trailer.
That's this main metal piece here. That reminded me of like a front of a trailer. Like if they pulled the trailer and they cut the front tongue off. That was the rest.
And you're saying it would be common, just like Jerry said, to use that to shore up the entrance so that.
See the chain on the top and the
I
bottom?
was just going to say that some kind of belt system,
Conveyor.
something
Okay.
conveyor to get.
Well, look. So come on over here.
Are these changes all the way over to here? Down in there. And this hole is kind of wicked because. And look at the crack.
That's pretty deep. Yeah, somebody has filled it in. I would
Yeah.
say that this is, because you see the difference in the color.
Yep.
You know, that's telltale signs of someone filling it in. I don't. Well,
That's a bunch of my crap over there. The,
Oh,
the cinder
okay.
blocks aren't mine, but the wood crap's mine.
So you know, so which direction is the incline? Can you tell?
We're
Yeah,
not
if you
sure.
thought there was
it looks
a-
like this way, if we were gonna make a guess. But again, we got a guy that does this all the time.
Yeah, here he goes.
Jump up and down a little. Let's see if the thing flexes.
Yeah.
It's
We'll,
just collapsing.
we'll get some ropes and come find you later.
We're real careful about that kind
Say
of
hello to our friends underneath.
I'm sorry.
Say hello to our friends. That
Yeah,
are under there.
The guy's
When you get
Bigelow,
there.
the guy's Bigelow was trying to meet down there. Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff down there. Yeah, the chain and that's I would say that's some kind of a
Conveyor.
conveyor to get stuff out of there.
Well,
I don't think that black pipe.
Nah, this is just crap of mine,
I was
probably.
gonna say that doesn't look like it goes with it.
wow. So, okay. Yeah, 3 people now.
That piece right
This is a
there,
big hole.
rod coming
It's
down.
big.
What is that?
This is
Supposed to
just the
sounds
top
like it
of
was
it.
a-
All that stuff in there went someplace.
Yeah, and you see the sinkholes, and there's like holes going all the way up. This entire area is like 60 by 40. Was like the top that's all caving in now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hollow underneath there.
Yeah.
They didn't-
So really, it probably starts to go on the downward incline up there at that edge, probably.
That's all roofed with wood.
This would have all been roofed to the portal entrance, you know, that they would have drove into.
And now it's just going like this and collapsing because all that snow weight,
Yeah,
water weight
yeah.
that was on there. You know, 4 feet, 5 feet of snow on there and wet.
So all that shit that they threw in there now is all
I've
sunk
never
through.
seen a mine, and that's one of our favorite things to go to is mines and mill sites and that. I've never seen one filled in or back covered or anything.
Or hidden.
No, they just left it. When it ran out,
Yeah, this
they
one's.
just went to the next dig or
So in the Vietnam era, when either the MX missile program or Howard Hughes and stuff would have been up here in that era, they were doing something underground here, potentially at this spot, that they felt the need to cover up after.
Yeah, versus just the
I would
mining.
say somebody covered this up, which is very, very rare in the desert when you're looking at old mines, mill sites and all that. They didn't cover nothing up.
Right.
If there was wood buildings, they took that wood apart, put it on a wagon, took it to the next place they were going. Wood was way, way too.
This is all he does, so he knows.
Okay.
Wow.
You never
Yeah,
see
that's-
a waste dump where somebody threw a bunch of
No,
metal
no,
in it.
Not like
No.
where there's wood ceilings
not like
and
that.
cover
I've
up.
never seen this.
That's the number one criticism we get on the video when we come up and show this hole. And people that know say all this. People go, "Oh, that's just some old tractor, some junk somebody threw in there."
No,
But that,
no way.
no way, right?
No chance. That's not, especially with that chain-driven conveyor belt. The amount of stuff that's here, that track. If you dug in there, I guarantee there's more of that stuff there.
Yeah.
Because once they start to go down the water table,
God.
they got to have a way to keep those vehicles from sinking in. You know.
Yeah, I know,
Look
I
what
know.
happened down there with that D9 cat.
What happened?
Oh
to
yeah,
that?
the
What-
tractor.
tell us
Okay, the
about that.
bulldozer.
We don't know anything about it, really.
Well, all I know is that sucker sat there for a long time because.
Go the whole. What is?
Well,
what's
what do you know from what you know of that tractor?
and the
They
whole
brought
story?
it up to what exactly do with it, I don't know. But they brought it up to use it up here, and they parked it in that meadow area, and come the rains, come everything, it sunk all the way down, and it sat there that whole winter, I know. And then they got it out the next year. Now I don't know if it ever ran again, but that sunk right up, and I don't know whose it was. It wasn't Dave Bardine's.
No.
It's at.
So
Skinwalker
yeah,
Ranch.
so we have pictures of it that went from here straight to Skinwalker.
Okay, well there you
To
go. But
Bigelow's other property.
they were doing something, looking for something, doing something, digging for something.
Burying something?
What something? Well,
Who knows up here? I have no.
Welcome to the
When you
mystery of
talk
Mount
about
Wilson
life,
Ranch.
I can believe anything. You show it to me in that, and I can believe it.
Anything
Wow.
is possible.
Anything.
Yep.
I don't say there's not this or there isn't this. You show it to me, and I'll okay. But that thing sat there, and it was pretty funny to see that because all you could see was the top of it.
So I heard the seat was about basically exposed, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the cage on the top of it.
Well, it's still that area there's still always real wet and marshy and everything, and that was a big heavy tractor, D9 tractor.
Yeah.
So when we did ground penetrating radar over where they got that bulldozer stuck down in the meadow, we'll have to show you what they found on the ground scans was under that meadow that we found this last January. So
Could be anything.
yeah.
Like I say, something's here.
Something.
Something's there. What it is, I don't know. But something was either they looked for something or they found something or whatever. There's a reason all that's there.
And then covered up.
Yeah, and then
Literally.
they didn't want it to leave it exposed where other people were going to look at it or mess with it.
Until one day when Mother Nature decided when Jeff and Carl were taking a stroll to just open up and show us the way.
That's pretty interesting though, especially with the way it's sinking in different places. So it's still underneath there is still hollow.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's kind of where we're at. That's funny.
You get up, you can usually see the mountains, the area, the hills and everything. So they'll try and get to that level where they can look down on an old town site. And there may not be anything much there, but then they'll look for the old outhouses, try and line it up and everything. They'll go right to that area and then they'll start digging. And they threw everything in there. You'll find medicine bottles, whiskey bottles, opium bottles, everything in the outhouse.
Wow.
That's the way a lot of the bottle hunters do it. Line it up with mountains or hills. Okay, there's an outhouse right here.
Know where that town sat.
Where you can still see the road, faint road, because roads don't go away.
Yeah.
You can still see it was here. They'll go right to it, and they'll see this immediately. They'll see this, and they'll start digging.
As for this trip, I've packed up all my bags and all my gear. Last night, my plan was I was gonna do a bunch of paranormal investigating in the settlers cabin and up in the saloon. And what I ended up doing was going live on YouTube. So I did a whole like hour and 10-minute live stream with Jeff in the saloon where we did a spirit box investigation. So if you missed that one, I'll put a link to it so you can go watch it and catch up. That's what we ended up doing last night. So instead of having all of that content, paranormal investigating in this video, that's what we did with the live stream over on the exact day when I was here. So now that you're all caught up to speed, you can go back and watch the live stream if you missed it. And yeah, we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. This is season 3. We're kicking it off officially as part of the prelude to Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. There's going to be more to come with that. I'm excited to tell you more about it. If you want to know more, go to the Mount Wilson Ranch and the Carl Crusher Patreon. There's 2 different ones, and join the inner circle. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.